Hey, it's your girl, Sherri Somers Bell. Welcome to Monetize Your Influence podcast. Super excited to be here as always. Listen, so I based on when you're hearing this, I am just coming off Father's Day weekend. Shout out to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day, belated Father's Day. Whew, it was a lot. It was, hear my word, busy. We like to plan ahead in my family. I am the planner. I like to make sure I don't like it, but I know I'm more productive when I plan, right? I think CEOs are more productive when they plan. Research have shown that, of course. So July's tend to be is going to be big for me. I have several, as in four speaking engagement back to back in July. I'm out in the street, meet me outside type of thing. And so I am planning to be at 8%. Shout out to Cody. And I have a millionaire mindset event that I'm going to be at, and seven figure speaker summit, and some other events that I'm going to be speaking at on stage and in person, and all these different events. So I am packing and doing all this stuff. Along with that, I'm creating my masterclass. I'm creating the content around how to get people to say yes to your masterclass. That's coming up on Tuesday, June 24th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, based on when you're hearing this. VIPs at 11. So I was creating the contents around what I'm going to be teaching. I'm so excited because I've never taught this before from this aspect. I never really dived this deep into the psychology of getting people to say yes to. I'm just so excited. And because people have been texting me, and I sent out a voice text asking people, say, hey, there's anything you need to know around this masterclass, go ahead and send me a reply to me, an email, let me know. And wow, people took me up on their offer. Sometimes when you tell people to do something, they're just kind of like, oh, okay, and they don't do it. Especially when you send out ads, they're like, okay, great, and they don't do it. But actually, they were really responding to me and getting in the VIP. So I'm excited about that. So during that time, this whole past weekend, I'm packing because I want to pack early, just because I have so many stages that I'm going to be speaking. I'm not speaking on stage at 8%, but I'm doing one of their, what we call a round table, where I'll be speaking early in the morning. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I have to make sure I have the outfits and all this stuff. So it was a lot this past weekend, celebrating with my husband, my wonderful husband, for Father's Day. So we went on a boat ride. I took him like on this boat dinner or slash lunch boat ride in our area in Florida. It was nice. It was really, really nice. I've never did that before. That was something different. And I just wanted to get away, get off all the to-do list things that I have, because I get off the busy, which is what we're talking about today, because we often hear business owners say these words like, I'm just too busy to attend whatever, right? Even hosting this masterclass, we've heard people say, I'm just too busy to attend another masterclass. So I want to dissect what that mean. I want to really talk about that, because sometimes people say the word busy and I don't even think they realize what they're what they're saying. And when they say that, I truly believe they're cutting off money. They're cutting off energy to their soul. They're cutting off attraction to their blessing. And I don't think they even realize that they're doing it. So in this episode of the podcast, that's what we're going to talk about today. Just the too busy is, to me, is a lie, and it's costing you clients. So you may not even be knowing it. So I want to dive right into that because I am busy, but my business, I can see the harvest of my busy. So I want to know, are you seeing the harvest of your busy? Because I remember I remember having this exact conversation with this amazing and brilliant attorney with a growing client based business. And she had a team, she was managing a team and a never ending to do list. And she told me that, Sherri, I needed to get through this season. Then I'm going to focus on her messaging. And the reason why we're talking about that is because as an attorney, right? Messaging you think is important to her business, but she was like, I have so much to do list. I don't know when I'm going to get to focus on this messaging thing. And you know what happened? That 6 months of not working in on her messaging. Now let me talk about not working on messaging because I don't like talking candid. I'm talking about not working on her presentation when she is fighting for her clients. I'm talking about her messaging on her website. I'm talking about her messaging when a client a prospect want to work with her and see if she's a good fit for a trial case. I'm talking about her messaging to an email where her assistant is taking care of the emails. We use messaging in so many different aspects of our business. I'm talking about messaging when she go to speak to represent herself at a conference or a women's conference. This one person, this attorney, is using messaging all over in different aspects of her business. She wanted to write a book about her expertise. She speak on cases to the judge, to jury every single day on the behalf of her clients. Literally, she speak publicly all the time. She speak in front of media. She's been seen in magazines. She's also doing talking head content on social media. She's also have a website that showcase her brand. All of these different aspects. But what she's telling me is she did not have time to work on her messaging. Do you hear me clearly? You can already see where the brokenness of her business comes in because she says, I'm busy running a to-do list. I'm busy doing all of this stuff. I'm just busy working with my team on all this stuff. I don't have time. Now, do you see where the money leaks could be happening? Because she's thinking the team is the leak and all of this stuff is the leak. When truth of the matter is, her money leak was happening in her messaging because her messaging was inconsistent when she talked, inconsistent on her website, inconsistent to the people who she was targeting. Because one of the things is that the people that was calling into her office was the wrong target audience. So just in that 6 month pass, and she was still overwhelmed, still undercharging, and still not being heard in the way that she wanted to serve. But it doesn't end. Like that busyness doesn't end. Because here's the truth. Like I said, the business doesn't end. And if anything, it multiplies. Yes, the more successful you become, what has to change isn't your calendar, it's your communication. It's not your calendar, it's your communication. And there's so many times that I will hear people say, I am so busy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but your results of your business is not reflecting your results. So there is a gap there. Like you're so busy, but is your business giving you leverage? I want to stop there and talk a little bit about leverage a little bit, because if you're busy like this attorney who a day or 2 weeks turn into 6 months and so on, when she's done being so busy, she should have been able to look back and said, hey, because of this business, I'm able to do this. Right? So I just start off this podcast telling you all about all of the events that are taking place with me in July, all the stages, all the places that I'm actually going to speak at. All of these opportunities to speak did not just come because I'm cute. I am, but that's not the reason. It came across because of me being busy, yes, but being busy with a strategy, with leverage, using my voice, knowing how to crafting a message, right? Being busy in the trenches, crafting a message. And when my message got out there into the world, it lands where it needs to land for whoever need to hear it to get back to the people it needs to get back to. Do you see how that work? So I will never forget. And I think I told this story before because I have did so many speaking engagement with Cody. I have did so. Shout out to Cody 8% and Lauren, all the amazing people, a team that work for him, and all the amazing team and family over there that works with him. Amazing. So how that even happened is I signed up for 8%. And when I signed up for 8%, they had a conference and I did not attend. I got busy. I was not able to attend. So one of the ladies called me and said, "Hey, you did not, why didn't you attend 8%?" Well, I explained to her, "Hey, I didn't attend because I had a paid speaking engagement at Black Tax Professional Conference simultaneously the same time you had 8%. So I could not go." And she says, "Oh, so what do you do?" And I told her that also, along with being in the insurance space, I also speak. I'm a professional speaker as well. That matter of fact, that's how I get my clients. I use my speaking ability to generate leads without having to buy leads. And when she heard that, she of course do her due diligence and started looking me up on social media, started finding me, could look at me and look and see that I had a tribe, and do her due diligence and took it back to Cody and started showing Cody. And then Cody and I remember I was at Marshall's. I was getting ready to go somewhere and I was looking at out shopping, and she said, "Well, let's meet with Cody and have a conversation." And we met with Cody and have a conversation. Then Cody did his due diligence, looked me up, same thing. Listen to my talking head, listen to what I do. And it's so funny now because one of the things I was talking to Cody about is being able to use Facebook group to reach your target audience and creating your own tribe and all this stuff. And it's funny that he just started a new Facebook group. And I was like, "Dude, I've been telling you to do that." like you late to the party, but I love you, Cody, but you've been late to the party. But the idea here again is he did his due diligence and we've been hanging out ever since. Even went on a whole private jet tour together, the Ultimate Agent Tour. Right. And so again, crafting that signature message. Now, being busy, but busy with the right thing that planted a seed. So I was busy putting myself out there, creating that visibility for the right people to find me. Every single person that I'm speaking in July at their event is because I learned how to stay busy in the right space in crafting my message. There's some of us are saying that we're busy, but the busyness of what we're doing is not reaping the harvest. We're not busy doing revenue activity. We're busy doing things that is not going to generate consistent revenue, predictable revenue. So we have to be busy in the right space. Now, how do we get busy in the right space? Now, just like we were talking about, there's a shift that we have to make. There is a shift. So whenever I hear somebody say, "I'm busy, I can't attend this thing," there's not an event that I ever attended that I did not get value. You're not too busy for the right room. I was writing this down the other day. You're just conditioned to prioritize doing over designing. The masterclass that I'm hosting isn't another task. It's a pause that produces clarity. So here's the other thing too. One of the aha moments people have whenever I'm working with them in my masterclass or in my coaching program, they will have 5 to-do lists. And then this is a gift. I don't know how to teach it because I don't teach it because I don't know. I don't know. And shout out to Dr. Latoya Grant, Catherine Latoya Grant Austin. I butcher her name because she pointed this out in Jamaica at my mastermind in Jamaica. She was like, "You have this gift." When I'm teaching something, you may have 5 to-do lists, and when I'm finished teaching, one thing framework that I teach will usually eliminate your to-do list, because by doing one thing, it take off simultaneously all the other things that you have to do. All it answers it answers everything else that you have to do. It literally answers every other thing necessarily for you to do. And that's the power, because and let me tell you why. Oh, I didn't grab my whiteboard. And let me tell you why. Number one, the reason for that is because I'm looking beyond what you don't know what you don't know. So when you come to a masterclass, a person who's teaching on their expertise, they're pushing your mindset beyond what you don't know. So you can only see a certain thing, but you halfway through the thing. Let me show you. Let me grab my whiteboard so you can see. And if you are checking on the podcast, you may not be able to see it, but you may be able to see it on YouTube. Let me grab my whiteboard. Okay, so if you're on the podcast, when you get a chance, you can hop on over to YouTube and you'll be able to see the whiteboard. So when you are attending or investing in your time in attending a masterclass, what happened is it opens up your eyes to things that you would necessarily see or you would necessarily think of, because you're in the space of learning from somebody else who's an expert in that space. So you open up your mindset, your belief system, and your learning. Now, here's what I mean by that. You don't always get the full picture because we don't know everything, right? We're always learning, which is always a good thing. So when you're looking to expand on something you don't know enough about, especially crafting your message like the attorney I was just telling you about, you don't know the full picture. So in her mind, she was saying, hey, I have all these to-do lists. I have a team that I have to take care of. I don't have time to be working on my messaging. I don't have time. She failed to realize everything else, what the messaging is. She was thinking, I have all the list of to-do things. I have to work on the team. So she didn't see the whole picture. So this is a circle. I'm going to cut the circle in half. And the front of the circle is the team that she was working with, the to-do list. All of that is the front of the circle. So she's thinking, if I fix the front of the circle, get the team right, if I get everything that's on the to-do list, of visibility, the anesthetics is what I want to call it. So the team, the images, right? I call that the anesthetics, where you get the images, the color, which is your brand, right? Because you can have the color, the brand, the image, all of the front end that people see of your business, the website. She can even dress like an attorney, right? So the front end of her business, the coffee pot looks good, expensive, luxury, whatever you want to call it. So the front end of the picture of her business look amazing. The front end is top notch. But the back end of her business, which is the core, the soul of her business, she was not thinking about. See, the soul of your business is all about what you stand for, your purpose, your mission, your message, your movement, right? Your mission, your message, your movement. That part right there, when you're crafting that part, Define what your brand is. Define your website. Define how you dress. Define the image. Define your team. Define your whether you're a luxury or not. You see? So she was working from the front end instead of working from the back to the front. So the back of the picture, right? The back of the picture, when you craft your message, people get to see the whole picture, not just half of the picture. Because anybody get to see half of the picture, they get confused. They don't know what it's about. So when I say, for example, the masterclass is about how to get people to say yes to you. You can't get any clearer than that, right? So when you are refusing, or when you don't make time, I wouldn't say you're refusing, but when you don't make time to craft your message, what happened is you will continue to be in analysis paralysis. You will continue to be confused. The master class that I'm hosting isn't about another task. It's a pause that and produce clarity. It's not about fitting something else in. It's about learning how to speak in a way that get people to say yes, so you can get more from everything you are already doing. I love this. So when you craft your message and when you learn how to craft your message, now you know who your target audience, who you need to go to, what your website need to say, what your image needs to look like. So you're working from the inside out. So if your voice isn't converting, and if you're exhausted or you're feeling over explaining what you do and still hearing, let me think about it, then being busy is costing you far more than a 90-minute on Zoom. Far more than 90-minute on Zoom. Because one of the things people fail to do, they fail to learn the skill of speaking to sell. They fail to learn the skill of speaking to sell. Because when you craft your message, everything starts from your message. There's no mission without your message. There's no movement without your message. There's none of that. Nothing happened without your message. So for us, and so we got to figure out Sherri, how do we create the message? And we don't have time to dive. That's why we need a masterclass. We need 90 minutes on the masterclass to teach you how to dive deeper into that message. And I also want to point this out too. Yeah, and shout out to all. We were looking to I was looking to get about 100 people register for this event. And we have, at the point of me checking, and this is June Friday, June Friday, June 13th is when I looked, and we had 92 people register already. And my goal was to get 100 people register. That doesn't mean 100 people show up, because, free masterclass, some people show up, some people don't. But the idea again is we're almost at of what I asked for. So that's awesome. That's so awesome. I'm about to tell myself I'm the marketing queen, because this is just so awesome. Okay. So I'm about to just pat myself on the back for that. But again, this is, I hope with my demonstration of working from the back to front, being skilled at crafting your message first, and then after you craft your message, everything else get worked out after your message. I hope learning how to craft that skills. I hope you learn that the importance of that. And then you come to the masterclass of how to get people to say yes to you, to learn how to craft that skill, right? Because this isn't just a training you want to catch on replay. It's not even a replay for it. This is a one that show you how to speak so people say yes to you. So let me also say this too. Let me also say this. Many times people compliment me and say, man, I'm just so proud of you. Like I turn around and I I watch you. I watch your business just blossom. I hear this all the time. And I'm always like, oh, thank you. I will go somewhere and someone will be like, look at you, 3 times #1 best-selling author. Okay. I get that in the stores, at church. Uh, I'm like, I went to a women real estate workshop this past weekend, and I was like, and I walked up to say hello to the host of the workshop, and she says to me, she said, "Hey." Oh, hi, how are you? Congratulations on your book. I was sending your book to my husband to let him know that you made 3 time #1 Amazon bestselling author. And I was like, you were? So number one, you just don't know who's watching. That's number one. But I'm going to tell you this. All of that success sounds great, but you know what the secret is? The secret is when I see a workshop that intrigued me and there's a skill that I need to learn, I show up. I don't just register, I show up. And every masterclass, every event that I ever attended, I found a nugget or something. Every event, virtually or in person, it may be something that I was stuck at. And I'm like, oh, I got it. Thank you. Thank you. And some of those events I went on, not just stop there, I went on to invest because I just told you 92 people signed up. I also told you a few weeks ago that my business has took off. And when it started taking off, then I invested in ads. So you're seeing the results of my investment. But prior to that, someone taught me how to craft a message. Someone taught me what I'm also investing in teaching you at a free masterclass. Someone teach me these things. And I tested and went and learned it. And I put my own signature style on it. And it worked for me. And I'm coming back and teaching you. Do you see how that worked? That's a domino effect of my investment coming back. So I want to assure you over and over that is one thing to make sure that you signed up. But it's another thing to make sure that you come in the room to be in the room. And number 3, there's no such thing as saying, I am so busy if your business is not giving you the results of what you desire. So I want to see your beautiful face on Zoom on June 24th. That's Tuesday, June 24th, in our masterclass, How to Get People to Say Yes to You. I want you to craft your signature message. Why do I want you to attend this masterclass? I want you to be busy with the right thing. That's more important. But I also want you to cut down on all this follow-up calls that you have to do because your message, ever delivering to people, having to 5 follow-up calls to answer a questions about your offer, about what you sell. There's a gap there. There's a missing message there. If you have to constantly keep following up to answer questions there. Where's the broken conversation? We want to be able to fix that for you, and we want to be able to help you. We want to be able to have a strong message that move the masses so you can cut down on the follow-up call and cut down on the business that's not bringing you results, right? And we don't want you to wait 6 months or 6 years to do it. We don't want you to have analysis paralysis. So make sure you click the link in the show notes and join me. And I just love seeing your beautiful face on Zoom. Now, here's another thing I want to point out too. When I was a cop, because people say, I would hear people say, but Sherri, that time I have to work. Let me just address that. Real quick. Ooh, I have to work, Sherri. That time I'm at work. Let me also address that. Let me just also address that too. Okay. When I was a cop, and I was a cop for 10, almost 11 years. And I used to have to go do what we call security checks. And I used to have to go on Zoom and listen to presentations or webinar or masterclass that I want to learn. my first coach. Now I had my first coach was Dawn Mars, and she was teaching me funnels, sales funnels, how to do a website and so on. My second coach off of that was April Franks. And I will go, and her coaching programs sometimes was at 7, sometimes they were at 10, sometimes 11, doesn't matter. Because baby girl would take her lunch break and she will come on, she put her ear pods in. They would listen to me. Now, I'm not telling you to get fired on anybody's job. Let me just be clear, because in these internet streets, people be twisting people's words. Okay? So, but I did whatever I had to do to hear the value necessary so I could leave my 9 to 5. Okay? Because that was my goal. Whatever you need to do to hear the information, to show up for the information, you will do it. You will do it. I have been on so many master classes for the people who are ready to learn. I have took master classes with Myron, and even my people. I've put master classes, and they starts at 10. Oh, the real estate class that I went to. You know what time they start? 10 a.m. Eastern. And mine is at 12. They start at 10 a.m. Eastern. So I used to sit in my car, stoop down when my sergeant is coming by so I could hear the class and take notes. And take notes. We had flexibility when we could take our lunch break. I would take my lunch. I say, hey, at 12, I'm going to take my lunch break at 12 just because I could do the master class. Now, some of you may not be able to do that, and that's okay, but I'm talking to the ones that can. In this season, and I said this on my Facebook page. We're gonna end out. I know we're gonna end out. Oh, geez, I went over a little bit, but that's okay because it was worth hearing. But I want you to hear this, and I want you to hear this clearly. I wrote this on my Facebook page because this is a season that we're in. And after I'm done, then I want you to go ahead and register for our class. If hopefully this come out before class. Here's this. There's a shift in the air. And if I'm honest, start over. I wrote this 2 days ago on my Facebook page and on my Instagram because it was heavy on my heart. And when something is heavy on my heart, I have to post it because we're in a different season. And if you think that the excuses or claims that we used back then to say why we can't do something or why, baby, it won't work. It won't work. We might as well hang it up now because this season is a different season. We're in a season of trust and authenticity. That's the season that we're in. We're not in a season as I understand. If you say you want better, if you believe that this is your season, if you believe that you have a voice that you want to be heard, this is the season for you. However, the only way for it to happen is for you to let go of why you can't do something. And I'm going to share with you what the post that I share on my timeline in case you didn't see it, because the algorithms in these streets be jacked up. But this was what was heavy on my heart, and I want to end out this podcast with this. There's a shift in the air, and if I'm honest, I feel it. And if I'm honest, I feel it heavy in my spirit. We're not in a season of good intentions anymore. We're in the season of divine execution. This isn't about survival. It's about alignment with procession. Overflow with discipline, faith backed by strategy. But this season requires a different version of you. The one who doesn't flinch when things feel stretched. The one who remember pressure doesn't break her, it builds her. The one who doesn't just talk alignment, she lives it, even when it's inconvenient. Ease alone won't carry you. You need excellence. This season is separating the ones who perform from the ones who lead. Because being visible isn't enough. You have to move with clarity, with conviction, with courage. You don't have to grind, but you do have to grow. You do have to stretch. You do have to make decisions that look like sacrifice and are actually seeds. Because flow follows faith in action. This isn't pressure, it's your permission to become undeniable. God bless you. It's the girl, Sherri Somers Bell, and I see you on our next episode.